think Ali looking to take the initiative and send the cue ball back down to bulk here, if he can. Played it well, actually. He's covered the red in the middle of the table, which means that Robertson does not have anything really that adventurous that he can do. Containing shot maybe to that left corner where he's got his cue right now. What else? I'm not certain. Maybe another very thin edge. No, that's a very good shot.
Oh, this has got a chance.
Yeah, it looked close, didn't it, at the beginning? Out here, I wondered myself.
One. Six.
Well, the red right close to the cue ball is a worry. If that wasn't there, I mean, it's got such a nice shot to play on the black to the opposite corner, but it's a slight concern that he doesn't overhit and get snookered behind the red.
Seven. Thank you.
There's a little lingering walk round, has he or not? Yes or no, Ali? It's still tight, isn't it? I reckon he can get to it, but it's a whisker.
$14. $15.
Won't be happy at all. Can't get to anything else but the black. Does he? I mean, the black might even cut in, but it's incredibly thin. Do you want to be playing this shot? Well, there's your answer. He didn't want to be playing it.
Ali Carter, 15.
probably a good move, you know. You can imagine him playing the black and not playing it very happy because of the previous shot.
Foul and a miss.
Oh, dearie me.
Cue ball 4, Ali Carter.
Well, that's even worse than just missing it. I
From
think,
there.
unsurprisingly, from where the balls have landed, he's inviting Neil to play. It's not much of an invitation, is it? I suppose you've got to play. Can't really say no. And now he's in more trouble. You can never have seen that happening. You know, you play the thin shot on the red, thinking, well, if I miss it, OK, I'm giving away 4. And the balls end up behind the brown. I don't even know which red he'd be looking to hit. I think he's eyeing up that one up the table on the right, but to hit that and not do damage would take some doing.
Foul and a miss. 4, Ali Carter. Put it back, OK.
Well, Carter's had a good look, but nothing doing, so the cue ball goes back. John Pellew, the man in the white gloves. Yeah, just that little running behind the brown has suddenly created trouble for Robertson.
Yeah.
Problem is, he's almost going across 2 cushions and the bump of the middle pocket is in the way.
Yeah, what I looked at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do you have the screen?
We can have a screen, but what I looked at, see the light colour on the pocket?
I mean,
I
I'm
lined
playing-
that up.
I'm going to play the same shot, so just put it closer to the ground, just so I can't see it.
Yeah, I think the point Neil is saying is John Pellew's got the line right, but he's not going to be able to get to that red off 1 cushion.
A bit closer it is to the brown. Could,
As far as I can
a
judge.
little bit further.
Nice
closer
man,
to
John
the-
Pellew,
to
isn't
the
he?
brown, and I'm a bit attached towards
Yeah.
Neil.
Doing a great job there, and
Doesn't matter, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
OK. Yeah.
Tatiana Wollaston helping out the marking duties. They've come to an arrangement.
Yeah, just a slight adjustment.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good shot to hit it off 1 cushion dead weight, isn't it? I mean, in a way, I'm glad he did, because we'd have to go with all that again, putting them back, and it's not an easy job on a situation like that.
It's a very interesting moment in the match, I think, because Carter's got involved. It's noticeable Neil Robertson's taken a couple of long ones on, not got them, which is good news for Carter because we know what a formidable long game Robertson has. Doesn't mean that will continue, of course, that pattern. But so often that's how he gets in, Neil Robertson, from distance. It's not really happening today. The chances he's had, he's been close in from a Carter error.
Well, it was on its way, I think, to being a fluke, but didn't quite hard enough. Otherwise, it was just a bit of luck that maybe Carter would have wanted. This cue ball's absolutely flown down the table here.
One.
You got a bit fortunate there, you know. Didn't know anything about that little nudge on the blue. It was racing down towards the top right pocket, the cue ball.
It's an example of what I was saying. It's another chance that's come from a mistake from Carter. Very nearly fluked the same red. Neil Robertson, of course, taking a break from his latest passion, which is golf. He's got seriously into golf in recent times. He's one of those players, and there's a lot of them. Steve Davis would be a perfect example. They don't just have interests, they have obsessions.
6.
And if they get into something, they really get into it.
Yeah, I mean, many a venue I'd be at, and Steve would get a letter, and it was postal chess. He was playing with somebody. Of course, that was before the internet. Might explain why that was happening. I think he made one move about a week at a time. Took forever, the game.
To be fair, he could afford the stamps, couldn't he, in those days?
Twelve. Thirteen.
I think he's going to have to find out whether when the black respots, whether the red that's just to the left of the black would be in the way, in which case he'd want to play on that. It might still be that the black would go past the red to the right corner anyway.
20. $21.
break's taken a slightly different route to the one he intended, I'm sure. To think he'd be playing the blue into the yellow pocket, it seemed unlikely when he started.
$26.
It appears the black does go there past that red anyway, so that was something he looked at quite a lot earlier in the break. Yeah, comfortably. He's had to think about a number of shots. He's not got himself into a tangle, but he's not, as I say, gone quite to plan so far. He's still going with this break. Even that shot, now he's got to find a colour to land
34.
on. Can he do so from the black, from low? It's quite a tight one, isn't it? I'm sure that clearly if he plays on the black, he feels it will definitely pot. So he wants to get the cue ball roughly on the line of where it is now. He's got to pot the red first, obviously. Looks to be a tight one. Maybe a trace of right-hand side to widen the angle. No problem.
42. $43. $48. $49.
So the option to play into the three reds here with the red out in open sight below it. Just a little nudge on the reds, because you can need them. That's why it's always a good thing to get into some reds when you've still got one or two out in open play.
56.
It's a perfect example of why that's the way to play it. And while he had to think about a
57.
number of shots, he should be plain sailing.
$64. 65.
So once again, Carter took one on, didn't get it, left an opening. Neil Robertson controlled things nicely. And this black should be 3-1 to him.
$72.
I think he'd be very satisfied overall with his performance, as long as he can now
73.
close the match out, have a couple of hours off, come back ready for what would be a big, big match tonight with Judd Trump. They've had so many great games, haven't they, down the years, those two?
$80. $81.
I mentioned the centuries, has a chance to make one here and get up to 961 for his career.
83.
This is someone who first came to the UK at the age of 16, turned pro
85.
very young, was completely out of his depth early on, and there were times as a teenager where he wondered
88.
if he could ever really cut it, but he persevered and he became a modern great. That's what Neil Robertson is.
92.
And he's really got on with this break, hasn't he? You know, he's not been deliberating at all. It's been all very instinctive.
97.
So Pink then for the first century of this match.
103.
It's the 16th of the Champion of Champions already this year. And Neil Robertson will be feeling really good going into the next frame, the one he needs to win to set up that tasty meeting with Judd Trump tonight. He's just made a break of 110. His 22nd century of the season. So he needs one
Ali
more
Carter to
to
break.
advance tonight to play Judd Trump in the group final. And the winner of that, of course, goes into the semi-finals.
He's got a clear view at reds, but none that he feels he can play safe up the table from. So that's why playing as if snookered, although he's got it wrong. He's got it very wrong.
Foul and a miss. 7. Ali Carter. From there.
Go from there, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, surprised everyone, I think. Not having it put back, but there you are. That's odd, I think. Why would he ask him to play from there? Anyway, this is the shot. I mean, I get that you would say Robertson would hit it the second go, but I mean, if he didn't, then Could be the 3 strikes and out
Oh.
rule would come into operation. Maybe it isn't as easy to get up the table as what it first appears. In fairness, it is giving him a little bit of problem and plenty to think about the next shot. It's going to be probably developing into one of those frames where the cue ball safety shots are at this end of the table. With the red the other side of the brown, there's no way you can play up to bulk. And you get frames like this, which invariably the reds all end up scattered in the centre of the table. And the first chance is usually a really good one. So, he's taking on this red. It's really difficult under the cushion. He's hoping the cue ball goes between green and brown. Didn't have to play it. He could have rolled up to the bunch, but it was an enterprising sort of shot to play, I suppose.
One.
Well, he's at the point of no return, isn't he? Can't he? Look at the table. If he breaks down, he could be out of the tournament. Oh, and he has done. He has done straight away. Wow.
Ali Carter 1.
Oh boy, he'd be crestfallen over that one because it's, you know, let's be honest, at this level, that's a very easy ball to miss. He knows it, and there's a reminder sometimes that this is not an easy game.
Six. Seven. Twelve. 13.
Just looking at Ali Carter in the chair, he's probably thinking that he might have played his last shot actually at the Champions 2024. Might just feel like a long time ago when he won the Championship League. It was early in July it concluded. Best possible start of the season, of course. It's the first event. Oh, well, maybe he's not played his last shot now. That pretty horrid kiss has taken
18.
place on the pink. Probably couldn't end up there if you wanted to, or you tried to.
Neil Robertson, 18.
Well, that was his first good chance to get the match won, but it didn't come to much.
Well, the crowd on the left were clapping, and the ball was halfway there. They knew. They were right down the line. The cross double was well played. The cue ball just drifting somewhat aimlessly into a place where the black is not nice. Taking this on. Great shot. Very good.
Eight.
Very thin, but you've got to play it. And the kiss didn't look any good at first, but I think he's on the red past the yellow. Don't know how snooker goes sometimes, but when he missed that brown earlier, that he's just about to knock in now, he got back to his chair. Robertson looked sure to make it a sizable break. Further down the line, that might just be a turning point. If he can win this frame, he's right back in things.
13.
Well, he was,
Ali
but
Carter,
another
13.
very unexpected miss.
He lost his cue action there. I mean, he brought it back. I don't know what, he just brought it back and stopped. He just lost his sort of routine there. I don't know what happened. Whatever it is, it's catching.
One.
Turned into quite a strange match, hasn't it? You know, it feels like Robertson should win. He's had a lot of chances, but again, in this frame, back in his seat. Carter not finished perfectly here by any means.
Well, he's already played one big shot on the black, which he went in. Now he's going to have to play another one, leaving a red on if this doesn't drop.
Six. Seven. Fourteen. 15.
Yeah, it's fine. I think for a second he was
22.
thinking there was nothing much there, and the red went over the middle. We've said it a few times, you know,
23.
best of seven is a short match, and Carter's not really played anywhere near his best, but as I say, 3-2. It seems like a totally different ball game, actually. And Robertson would be the disappointed one that he hasn't put this match away yet, of the two of them.
28.
Yeah, I mean, it felt as if Carter was there for the take-in, the miss brown, the miss red in this frame. But
29.
back in and building a lead, 32, 39 with the black. A couple more reds needed.
Just looks a bit hesitant on his backswing, Ali Carter. Lovely cue action usually, one of the best in the game. Just bringing that cue back a little bit.
36.
And don't know. Doesn't look like he's got the usual rhythm in the cueing that we'd usually see of Carter. And the rest shot is not going to be best example of it as it happens. He's always been a terrific rest player.
37.
Just the odd shot he's bringing the cue back, stopping, and then not quite playing it with the usual authority. But if he gets to within a frame, he can win the match. That's one thing you'll be thinking.
44. 45. $52.
Well, a couple of times he must have thought it was the end of the road in this frame, but he's still standing.
$60.
So a solid 60, but Robertson had a couple of good chances before that. And now there's only one in it. Robertson's lead has been reduced to 3-2. He looks so confident around the table. He's got a great sort of march around the table, hasn't he? We were looking at Mark Williams last night, sort of floating around. But Carter, you can see the intensity there. And you saw it in that 60 break. Right back in this match now.
That's a very good red. Cued it nicely, and he'll feel guilty of not taking the chances that have come his way in this match to the point where we're still playing when it could be over. Not with his usual clinical efficiency. But he can put it right here, I suppose, although it's a difficult table, isn't it? Black absolutely nailed. Pink, I don't know where that's going to go, but it doesn't look like it'll go anywhere unless it ends up on the brown spot.
Seven. 8. 13. 14.
'I think he was just looking at maybe the two reds above the black, if he could just push them onto the black and get it into play. But I think he's established that maybe the two reds, if he hits them squarely from the blue, will just miss the black. That's what he's sort of trying to work out now. He'd love to get the black into the game. It's very hard to win the frame where the balls are. High-value colours at a premium here. Well, that's not done the job of getting the black open. If anything,
19.
He's more tied up now, if that's possible.
$20.
So he has a chance to get the pink into the game now, because it will spot, which means he doesn't want it to get in the way of any possible reds that he could play.
$26.
Which it kind of has done, but there are others available to him.
$27.
Well, hit that well with almost drag on the cue ball to slow it down. Now it is a better chance. It really is a serious opportunity to close out this match. A match which it's always appeared he was going to win, but he's kind of faltered a little bit to the point where this is now a very important break.
Yeah, it feels like it's really focused his mind, the fact that you know, he didn't kill it off in the last frame. Carter made by far his highest break of the
34.
afternoon. It's a big opportunity here this week for Robertson, not only to win another big title, but to build up massive confidence ahead of a big couple of tournaments for him. Trying to qualify for the UK Championship. If he doesn't, he won't be at the Masters. So, you know, these are big tournaments he
40.
wants to be a big part of. And it starts here this week at the Champion of Champions.
41.
Absolutely dead straight on this pink. To the point where you can't even see the cue ball from that that pocket cam, because it's directly behind, hiding behind the pink itself.
$47. Thank you. 48. $54. 55.
He's not there yet. It's been
61.
really hard work this break with the black completely out of play. There you can see why. You know, he hasn't been able to use the black once. He stayed on high value
62.
colours, but it's taken a lot of thought to get a somewhat complicated table working in his favour.
This pink is match ball, and he hasn't potted it. So, not over yet.
Yeah, percent 62.
No, but I suppose what you could say is that he's going to have to pot the black if he's going to clear up. That's at least once, Carter.
He's really annoyed, though, because he wanted to win it cleanly.
Well, where's he going here? I mean, I know why he played it like that. Because he had to get the black out.
1.
And finishing on the yellow is absolutely no use. I mean, he can take the brown and still be able to win, but then it's all high-value colours all the way. No margin for error whatsoever.
First things first, this has to go in. He's 61 behind as it stands, 59 on, so needs points on the board here. Otherwise, he needs a snooker. He's playing down for red, so it'll probably be the end if he misses this. But he hasn't missed it.
No, but the red he's going to be a pot here is the one that's taking him away from all the action. He can take the pink once. So he can play on the pink now, but then it is all blacks. And I guess he'd like to get the pink on his spot. Either way, it's getting more difficult by the shot, this.
$6.
Even so, it's a chance. I'm sure he wasn't expecting. As I say, Robertson, he may still win, but he was really annoyed not to kill it off cleanly there. Just invite a bit of trouble here. At least offer Carter the chance to make the clearance.
He's played a terrific shot there. That is an excellent way of getting on the red.
12.
Now, it's a bit like that when there's a possible 147 chance, he's got to get the right angle on the reds to come back for the black each time.
$20. 21. $28.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a wide angle here, so he can't get right behind the black, but he can leave himself a high angle on the black from this. And at least that
29.
would bring him black to yellow is quite straightforward, so he's made a great effort so far.
Well, what a turnaround. Neil Robertson was coasting, wasn't he, towards the winning
36.
line on 62. Missed the pink, which would have got him to the snooker's required stage. It's been far from straightforward,
38.
but it looks more straightforward now for Carter. The ball's on their spots for 3-3.
$41.
Robertson looked in agony when he went back to his seat after missing the pink. And he was right to. He was right to fear the worst.
45. $50.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest, that's not great. He meant to hold and be dead straight. He's furious that he's... And would he even want to go all round the angles? Would he want to play the black from high? I can't believe he's finished there, neither can he. So what do? Drop it in? Cut the black back, or take the scenic route from pink to black here?
$56.
It's a missable shot, and he's done so well to get this far. It'd be a shame if he did.
What a moment. Ali Carter with this, you've got to say, tough black for 3-3. No. It went
Carter,
wrong, blue to
56.
pink.
Thank you.
Well, he did a lot of good work there, and it was all spoilt a little bit for him in that last shot. He could still win the frame, of course, but he'll be annoyed that it didn't happen there. I got the feeling he wasn't going to take that on. He's played a good shot, in fairness.
So a black ball battle to decide whether we go into a decider or whether it's Robertson through to face Trump tonight.
Well, the twice across safety shot here. Black on the right cushion, over to the left cushion, and nestled underneath the bolt cushion is the usual way to go. That's what he's played. He's not played it quite as well as he could have.
Clean the black, yes.
Because now he's left just a little glimmer of hope for Carter. He might take this on. That should have been tight on the cushion, that black.
Well, Carter's walked round to look at the potting angle. He's had the black cleaned.
I have to give the white ball. There's a mark on it. There's a mark on it, okay?
Oh, well, he's not. It's still something on it, it would seem. John Pillow's gone to get his special cloth, I think.
There's a bit of extra drama, isn't it, on top of everything else?
He's given it a good scrub, has John. He's already taken on one black for 3-3. Hang on. Oh, the cue ball just stays out, and Ali Carter is still in, the champion of champions. And Neil Robertson's got to do it all again in the decider. What drama. It's 3-3. Match ball pink initially on 62. All on this frame then.
Oh, if ever there was an example of how snooker is played between the ears, now there's a decider. One player is horrified that it's come to this, and that man is, well, he can't believe he's got to 3-3. He's no doubt thrilled to be there. Doesn't necessarily mean that he'll win, but he must be feeling the better of the two. It has to be. How did Robertson lose that frame? It's mostly down to good play from Carter, the way that he came back, but the black ball was quite dramatic, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it took a long time to play the shot, didn't it? Because they were scrubbing the black ball clean. So there was a big build-up to him playing the black. And this is what happened. Gets the pot, and then all eyes on the cue ball. It just stays out.
Well, playing off the bunch of reds, of course, anything can happen. Where the reds can finish is often in the lap of the gods. He can, of course, control the cue ball, and he's done so pretty well, hasn't he? That's what you might call an attacking safety shot that Robertson had just played well. Robertson immediately thinking about getting the cue ball somewhere in that top left-hand corner, close to the pocket. Not in the pocket, obviously, because I think if he feels if he can get the cue ball roughly where he's put his cue, the blue covers the red at the opposite corner of the table. Which he seems to have done successfully there. Complete cover.
Wow, he's somehow had to get round the side of that red. He's still not out the woods necessarily, but he could have left Robertson really closely and still disappointed because he has left a red to right corner. But how's Robertson feeling now? Because he must, in his own mind, believe he should be through by now.
One.
Well, of course, the black spot is occupied by the red, and is he going to just try and run the red off the black spot here in taking the black? The other thing he could do is he might feel that when it's spotted, it'll be potable somewhere into one of the left or right-hand corners. go to both, actually. Still would prefer it to be on its spot away from that other red, of course. Not helping him.
8. Nine.
So in first is all you can ever ask for, but of course he virtually put the match to bed in the previous frame and sort of fell at the final hurdle, really.
$14.
A mini version of the Steve Davis 85 black here, I suppose. That red that he's going to cut in, or something to middle. Depends if he's got centre balls queuing.
$15.
Yeah, the only thing in his mind now is getting the match won. He can forget about anything that's happened because he won't have long to look forward, of course, to the next one against Trump. If he loses, of course, he's got a lot of time to ponder where it went wrong this afternoon.
$20. $21.
Yeah, he's overrun there. I mean, did you want to really screw into the half dozen reds in the middle of the table off this blue? Kind of the way the match is gone, you wonder if you might not be lucky. He's played it. He's okay. Just that sometimes the snooker gods, when you
26.
do what he did in the last frame, start to play their own tricks. But he has found himself on 2 reds. I don't know how Neil would feel about this match if he wins it. Whether things just not been quite straightforward for him. A lot of thought has had to go into most shots, most situations in this match. Didn't play on the blue into the bottom pocket either.
Yeah, like I say about Robertson, if he wins this match, he'll find positives. He won't dwell on not winning 4-2. He'll find something
32.
that he can cling on to for tonight. Obviously, if he loses, then it's a different story. This was the sort of position he was in, of course, in the last frame, going along nicely.
33.
Yes, and he's straight. He can't flick away that red, although he might have just discovered that the pink spot is free. So when he pots the black, it's going to go up the table a little bit and not potable into many pockets. But ultimately, the lead is growing all the time.
40. $41.
Well, that really puts him in a very strong position now. On the blue perfectly. He doesn't have to even play on the red over the pocket. He could play on something else, and that's always going to be there as backup. Two reds close to the black spot. He could finish somewhere behind with almost a free shot at them with the red there over the pocket. But the last
46.
frame was just like this until it went wrong.
$47.
Well, it's all been very cool so far. It's 54 in front
54.
here. So a couple more reds and colours you'd feel would see him home.
Thank you. 55.
Yeah, just a glance at the score. 62 with the black. So another red and a colour. And it looks like he's through, but of course this was the position in the last frame, as we've said. And he didn't kill it off then.
$62.
Well, he wouldn't have a terrible problem if both reds dropped in here. That would be basically it. No need for a colour.
63. 64.
Well, that's basically end of match, barring snookers, because the two reds, I think that's what he meant to happen. I think he'll play better tonight. But he's been okay at times, Robertson here, you know. I
71.
feel like there's some really good play in there, but a few things have conspired to go wrong. The table's been a bit awkward.
72.
He lost a bad frame, but he's came back well to win this one, I think.
I think the positive he'll take is how he's won the decider. You know, he had every right to be rocking a bit, didn't he? Losing that black ball frame. But look at this. You wouldn't know it, the way he's taken it out. One chance, one visit.
79.
He's someone who sees the sunny side of life in general, Neil Robertson.
80.
And, well, what a match tonight against Judd Trump. Remember the final of this tournament in 2019? They made 8 centuries between them in that best of 19. Robertson got the win 10-9. One of the great finals in any tournament, that.
87.
Trump was superb earlier against Ding. Robertson's found it harder going against this man, Ali Carter, who made a great effort to win that last frame, but didn't really get a look in the decider. Neil Robertson made 87. A really exciting contest. Neil Robertson will feel he should have won 4-2, but he'll be delighted with the way he finished off with that 87. He beats Ali Carter 4-3, and it's an all-lefty battle tonight against Judd Trump. What a prospect.
demolished by Carter to force the decider. Some players' heads would have gone down there, but not Neil Robertson's.
No, he's got that Joe Perry in his corner who's going to keep him on an even keel as best he can, and he's doing a pretty good job, let's be honest. But I agree with Stephen. Neil was, a bit in and out today, but he did take his chance well in the decider on the back of, we talk about, or I certainly do, how important a safety shot is, and that one doesn't reach the baulk line. As a consequence of that, he leaves this red to the one pocket. And Neil, do you know what was striking about that? He could have bailed out because it was off straight. He could have gone up for blue, but he played on black, wanted to get about his business. It wasn't the fluency that we're used to seeing from Neil, but that was a lovely shot to almost set the break up. He's still got a puzzle to work out with the black, getting it off its spot there. But once that went in, and just top side of the blue perfectly, the writing was on the wall, and 2 for the price of 1 here, and the job was a good one in the end. But I think in Ali Carter's side of it, I think he lost the match today in the first half of it, because he chances every frame, but 3-1 behind, you're chasing your tail. OK,
let's hear from Neil Robertson now, talking to Rob Walker.
Well, Neil, congratulations. A funny odd match in some regards. You seemed in control, and yet time and time again, Ali clawed his way back in, and it was an excellent clearance by you in the end, just to make sure of your place in tonight's quarters.
Yeah, it sort of turned a bit when at 3-1 I was in for a good chance to win the frame and the match, and got a really unlucky cannon on the pink, dropping the blue in, I think it was, and after that Ali made a decent break for 3-2, and then I was in the next, pulled a great long red to get in, and I was just thinking, I just lost a bit of concentration on the pink. I was thinking, am I on a max of pinks here? And I just took my mind off it, and just missed it. Just wasn't even really thinking. I just got ahead of myself a bit, and Ali did a really good clearance, to force the decider. And but sometimes you like to be sort of tested, I suppose, and that was the maximum test there from 3-1 to 3-all, and good opening red to get in, and fantastic break to manufacture that. The balls weren't easy when I came to the table, and but I was really pleased the way I put that one away.
And now, of course, we get to look forward to a massive night between you and Judd Trump.
Yeah, Judd's Judd had a comfortable win earlier on today against Ding, so it's just about kind of just refreshing and just getting ready for tonight. So it's always nice to sort of progress and get to the quarters, and then try and sort of book your place into the final round. So always look forward to playing him. He's a wonderful player. There's no sort of secrets or surprises about each other's games. So we just play.
And we look forward to watching. Well
Thank
done.
you.
We do look forward to watching it, Rob. If it's anything like that final in 2019, we're in for a real treat tonight. Of course, Neil Robertson's dropped out of the top 16, which means he's going to be in qualifying for the UK Championship next month. So, too, a name into that ring is Zhao Xintong. Now, Zhao Xintong is one of a number of Chinese players who received bans from the game in 2022 as part of that match-fixing scandal. He received one of the lightest sanctions. He was found to have been in breach of being party to another player fixing 2 matches and betting on snooker matches himself. He served his time and he's allowed back onto the Q Tour. He's not allowed to play in China because the Chinese Billiards and Snooker Association extended his ban, but he is allowed to play here, which means he will play in qualifying for York. So he plays Sunny Akani in the round 1, and that's his route if he is going to make it into the main draw at the UK. Stephen and Alan, as we've said, he served his time. He was a prodigious talent. He won the UK. He was a big name on the tour.
Mm-hmm.
How will he be welcomed back?
I don't know from a player standpoint, obviously, because I'm not one of them. I think there will be some quarters will be, I don't know if bitter's the correct word, but he's paid his dues, and he also showed contrition when the investigation was underway. He's done his time without, no problem about it. He's done that, but I'm just pleased for him because of the player that he is. He's back playing in the Q Tour. He's won the last couple of those. It looks like he's going to get onto the main tour next season for the start of it. And if that's the case, then as far as the ban in China with the CBSA goes, he'll be good to play in those as of next season because that ban extends in July for next summer. Yeah,
that ban runs out in July. He won the German Masters in the UK before he served his ban. What kind of player is he? he? I think he's had a couple of maximums on the Q Tour. He's clearly been working hard at his game when he's been away.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a class above everyone else on that tour. You can see that from the way he's just won those last 2 events. As you say, with 2 147s, he's a fabulous player. He's got flair. Because what we say when I look at a lot of the Chinese players, they look very, very technical. Very sort of coached, but he's not like that. He's got flair. He strikes the ball beautifully. He plays all the shots. So, stupid mistake he's made. That's Alan said he's paid for that now. I can't wait to see him back playing, because when he won that UK Championship the way he did, I thought he could possibly be the first Chinese world champion before Ding, because he was that good. So really interesting to see how he does in the UK Championship. Might be difficult for him coming back, but I think if he wins the first couple of matches, I think he'll get momentum and he'll get confidence from those Q Tour wins as well.
A couple of the other names that received bans at that time, and hefty bans, were Liang Wenbo and Yan Bingtao, very familiar to snooker fans here. They will, it'll be a long time before we see them playing snooker again. However, Zhao Shintong, as you say, has owned what happened, and we are going to see him back. It'll be interesting to see how the players react to that. It'll be interesting to see how the snooker fans react to it as well.
I think the fans will like having him back. He's sorry for what he'd done, as I said before, and that's important. He made a mistake, but I don't think it was a preconceived mistake that he made. I'm going to hatch this plan to do this, that or the other. He fell into a silly trap. He's a long way from home, let's not forget. I know he has compatriots and friends around him, but he's fallen into a trap and he's paid his dues. So I'm looking forward to seeing him again for sure.
Stephen says he's got great potential. When he was playing, you thought at that point he could be the first Chinese world champion. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Stephen mentions the word flair, but he's got almost for me an understated flair. He doesn't dance round the table. He just kind of does it matter-of-factly.
I meant the way he strikes the cue ball.
Oh, absolutely. He's the best striker of the cue ball, the quietest striker of the cue ball at distance that I think I've ever seen. It's what is it, melted butter, whatever it is. Honestly, it's beautiful to watch.
Well, we will see him in qualifying for the UK as he tries to get into that tournament. Whether he's potential to win a world championship or not, we don't know, but certainly somebody who has won a world title and somebody who's the world #1 is Judd Trump. And interesting, some of the conversations this week we've all been having about that great rivalry that's building between him and Kyron Wilson. Is Kyron playing the best snooker in the world at the moment? Is Judd Trump? Let's find out what Judd had to say about that with Rob Walker.
Now, so far this season has been absolutely fascinating because you've had the 2 amazing titles and you've also come up against Kyron twice and come out second best in those 2 finals. A few people are saying at the moment that based on what they've seen alone this season, that Kyron is the best player in the world right now. What's your view on that?
I mean, if you look at results over the season or over the last... over this season, then it's probably I'm quite a way clear, I think, still. I think last season it was me against Ronnie. Overall, Ronnie probably got the nod because he won the bigger events. This season, I've won the bigger events, been in more finals, more semi-finals, more centres, more ranking points. So it doesn't really add up, I don't think. So I think I've always had great seasons, and I feel like I've kind of not been given the credit, and the same this season. If it was the other way around, he'd be clearly the best, but there's nothing against Kyron, it's just who people are comparing me against. If it was someone else, I'd say the same thing, but you can't keep judging me and saying I don't win the biggest events when I have won every big event, and still say I'm not the best player of the season. So I enjoy it as well. I enjoy the fight and talk and stuff like that. I'll keep proving to myself and proving to everyone. The last 5 or 6 years, I've been the best player by a mile, and same again this season.
It was a question we all wanted to ask, and that was an excellent answer. And do you feel that you're absolutely at your best now? You're flying. You've had the 1,000 centuries. You've got 2 titles already, 4 finals. Is this you at the very peak of your powers so far in your career?
No, I think that's probably the main difference for me. I'm not playing anywhere near my best, and maybe some of the other players are. So, and I'm still able to have the best season. So I think as much as you kind of want to win as easy as possible, I've not been playing my best apart from Shanghai. and there were spells in Saudi where I produced the best under the utmost pressure. But in terms of playing to their absolute best, I say probably Kyron is at his peak at the moment with his confidence. And yeah, I'm looking forward to try and get back to that 100%, like I was at the start of the season. And if I can keep doing that, then I'm sure I'll have some more wins in there.
Great stuff with Judd and Rob there. Judge me on my results. You know, look at my ranking points. Look what I've won. Look at my record this season. You tell me who's playing the best snooker in the world at the minute. I think is the answer.
On the season, he is the best player in the world. We're asked to quit, and the way Kyron beat him in Northern Ireland 9-3, and then the way Kyron was playing at this precise time, that was certainly what I was meaning, that Kyron at this point in time is the best player in the world. Judd's a far better player than Kyron, in my opinion. He's the best player in the world because of what he said there. There's no doubt about it. But if you're looking at who's playing the best right now, it was Kyron. But yeah, I mean, you can't possibly argue with what Judd has said there.
Yeah.
The other thing I like about it there, because in snooker, obviously, it's an individual sport, so no one else is going to fight your corner for you. You might as well stand up for yourself. And if it's got his dander up, brilliant, good. You know, let's keep it going. And Stephen mentioned a couple of weeks on the snooker podcast, this could be a rivalry that will develop in the next few years. Let's hope it will. I'm sure it will.
Well, I certainly hope so. Yeah, absolutely. Stoke it up. Never known to understoke anything here. What about tonight then? It's going to be an absolutely enthralling match. If Judd plays like he did this afternoon, he's going to find it tough, Neil Robertson. But we've had some great matchups between these two players.
We have 6 finals, 6 big finals, 3 all told. This is a group final, I know that. But I think Judd is going to start favourite because he's got the form, the weight of form under his belt. But I think I agree with Neil Foles. He mentioned in commentary, Neil will improve.
It's going to be great, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think Neil Robertson will be delighted to be back in this sort of arena playing against Judd. It'll feel like 2-3 years ago when he was one of the best players in the world.
Excellent. We'll be back here at 6:45 as ever on ITV4. Judd Trump against Neil Robertson. You don't want to miss this. City Stadium in Bolton. And that means this evening we can look forward to a repeat of the 2019 showpiece, which saw the Thunder from Down Under win a final for the ages against the ace in the pack. It's the best of 11 frames, and the winner will book a place in Saturday's semi-final against Mark Williams. Hello, very good evening. Welcome back to Bolton. It's day 3 of the Champion of Champions. Another great group final to look forward to in the company of Neil Foulds and Alan McManus. And we had a tremendous afternoon. Let's start, before looking ahead to tonight's cracking match, with how the two players made it into tonight's group final. And Alan, that Judd Trump Ding Junhui match. Ding Junhui didn't really get a look in. Judd Trump whitewashing him. What gear was Judd Trump in this afternoon, do you think?
I would say maybe 3.5 if you're in a 5-gear situation, but he was very good right from the off. Ding, unfortunately, was still, I think, on the plane getting here. It was one of those, you can give him a little bit of a pass on that. It's a tough old journey to come here, but that's the toughness of the tour now. You've got to take care of business. And Judd did it. I thought he was excellent. It was a shame because the group promised an awful lot today, and it played out that way in the second match, and I'm sure it will tonight, but unfortunately, Ding was poor.
Yeah, he just wasn't able to put any pressure on Judd Trump at all. He got hardly any time at the table, to be honest.
Yeah, and Ding is a bit like that, you know. I mean, he was sensational last week in Nanjing in the international, but yeah, a combination of jet lag, and he doesn't always do very well in these sort of events, does he? Let's be honest. I don't think of that many Champion of Champions where he's been prominent at the business end. Yeah,
well, we had a whitewash in the first match, and then we saw a final frame decider. This was despite Robertson went 3-1 up, but how good was Ali Carter to force that final frame decider?
Yeah, very good, because this pink that Neil misses in the middle is a bit of a shocker, let's be honest, because it's match ball. You know, he should have been back in the dressing room way before now, and then Neil, he gets the chance at this black after a dogfight on it.
Do you know, I don't really know how this match was only 4-3, because I think Neil played pretty well. Ali will be the first to admit he didn't play all that well. He fights like he always does. That's how he got it to 3-all. But really, it was never a 4-3 match. Robertson was the better player for the most part. He just couldn't get over the line. He lacked a little bit of the killer instinct, I thought, until it got to that last frame, and then he got the job done. And it kind of, when you know, knocked in both reds here, so that was match ball all in one. So yeah, he's got to play better tonight than that.
Yeah, well, that's put Robertson into tonight's final alongside Judd Trump. These two greats of the game have 53 ranking titles between them, and they've both been talking to Rob Walker ahead of this one.
It's possible that you could have the most lucrative season in history before even reaching Christmas. That would be quite something, wouldn't it? Aside from the money, as an achievement, that would be extraordinary.
Yeah, and people still don't think I've been the best player of the season, so kind of answers itself, really. I think over the past 4 or 5 years, I think I've probably had 3, 4, 5 of the most lucrative seasons ever. So I think the results speak for themselves. I just need to keep doing what I'm doing, keep being consistent, keep enjoying my snooker, and it's always nice to have different challenges, and no matter who it comes from, John Higgins, Ronnie, Kyron, is always going to kind of push me to that next level. So in sport, I think matchups are what make the sport great. It's never good when one person's just dominating, and I think the most drama always comes from two players going head to head with a little bit of tension on the line.
Judd, you know, had a comfortable win earlier on today against Ding. So, yeah, it's just about kind of, you know, just refreshing and just, yeah, getting ready for tonight. So, yeah, you know, it's always nice to sort of progress and get to the quarters and then, you know, try and sort of book your place into the final round. So, yeah, just always look forward to playing him. He's a wonderful player. Yeah, there's no sort of secrets or surprises about each other's games. So, yeah, we just play.
You've won the last couple of matches against Neil Robertson, but I have to say, when I think about the two of you playing in any match, I think about the Champ of Champs final from 19. I mean, yes, OK, you came out on the wrong side of that one, but that was a truly magnificent advert for snooker, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've had some amazing games, me and Neil, in different finals, semi-finals, quarter-finals. So he's a player that I respect a lot. He seems to have put the work back in and getting back to somewhere near his best. So he's as good a long putter as anyone that's ever played the game. So he's dangerous no matter where you leave him. And for me, it's very important that my safety is top-notch against him.
The funny thing is, whenever Judd and I play each other, whoever seems to win seems to go on and win the tournament, whether it be in the final, obviously, or earlier on in events. There's quite a high percentage of the times that when we beat each other, we actually go on and actually win the event. So, yeah, it's a good omen for one of us tonight.
Well, as he says, they have been there or thereabouts in this tournament since it came back onto ITV in 2013. Only 4 of the 11 champion finals since then haven't featured one of Trump or Robertson, which I think just tells you how consistent they've been. But also, what does it tell us, Alan, about how much they like this sort of big single table setup and the staging of this event and the calibre of the event?
Well, we absolutely know that Judd loves this. This is what he lives for, actually. And Neil Robertson has done for probably 15 years, the best part of 20 years also. But what he's been missing, I think, will quickly dawn on him. Yes, he won in Brentwood at the English Open, so he had a taste of the big time again. And in some way, I think he may have forgotten what it was like to go out and play in the big stage, because your mind and your body does forget. But this is the kind of match that will get Neil's juices flowing.
One match he will have in his memory must be 2019. It was one of the best finals we've had at the Champion of Champions, and that's saying something, because we've had some tremendous finals. But this went all the way to a deciding frame for him to lift the trophy against Judd Trump, and we had 8 centuries in the best of 19 frames final. It was a remarkable match, Neil, wasn't it?
It was a barrage of breaks, brilliant match. That was Neil Robertson, you know, absolutely his best. We've seen a little bit of that since when he won the Players and the Tour. Yes, we know he hasn't been quite the same player. And, you know, he's 42 now. Maybe he's not quite that player, but I don't think that will come into the equation tonight. You know, he's world number 17. He's better than that. He's won a tournament this season. Forget the last 2 years. He's still got what it takes. It's going to be a belter, isn't it?
It is indeed. And of course, we saw how good Trump was this afternoon. We know how good he's been. As they said in the interview, he's looking at £1 million before Christmas. You know, nice, happy Christmas. But what did you make of him saying there, you know, that's me nearly on £1 million before Christmas, and I'm still apparently the best player in the world?
No, that's just because...
This year.
Look, I mean, this is how there was a little bit of a rivalry before between them, because things were said which were small. It was escalated by the people. Rob's doing the right thing, bringing it up as he did earlier. These two are great guys, and I think Judd is just about the best player in the world. But Kyron is snapping away at him. That's what we're saying. That's all we're saying.
And we love these rivalries. You know, that's what it's all about. OK, then, let's talk about predictions then.
I have to say, Judd, I think he looked very sharp today. Neil has 1 or 2 more mistakes in him. I think Judd's 6-4.
I think Neil can win. I think he can play better than he has been in the afternoon game, and I just fancy Neil might just do it.
Excellent stuff. OK, another cracking group final to look forward to here at the Champion of Champions as the world #1 takes on the 2-time winner of this tournament for a place in the last 4. Trump versus Robertson coming up after the break.